Alright, here's my third video in a row, back to back to back. I don't know, these things are just popping in my head, so I'm just talking about them tonight, and I don't know how often I'm going to be throwing up videos, so that's why I'm doing it. It's still June 13th, it's about 3:20 in the morning now, and this video is going to be about mental magic versus, shit, what would you call that? Physical? I don't know, I guess we'll call it physical magic, or like using candles and herbs and oils, like the stuff you could actually touch, compared to like just meditating an idea and just like willing it to happen and really, focusing on it, really wanting it to happen. My view on it is that, sure, of course, mental magic works. It could work, but it works to me on a smaller level. I'm not saying that it's not strong, because it is a part of magic, it is a part of, spiritual work, or witchcraft, or whatever you want to call it. But to me, if you want something kind of bigger to manifest in your life, you do need physical components with it. You do need candles and oils and herbs and powders and incense and, whatever your work needs, sigils, papers, what is it called, statement of intent, petition papers. You need these things, I feel. This makes sense to me, and since it does, that's why I talk about it. I think you need these things because A, it helps you focus better on what it is that you want. I mean, the beginning, like the prep work, is kind of a bitch because you gotta cleanse all this stuff. You gotta purify it, you gotta put your intent into it, and then you gotta, it's kind of a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, just off the top of my head, to me, mental magic brings you mental, what's that word, manifestations, yeah. Mental magic brings mental manifestations, whereas physical magic brings physical manifestations. I mean, and not always. If your intent is to do something spiritual, but you light a candle for that, well then it'll work that way too. But I think that, yeah, like if you want to I don't know why this camera's acting so freaking weird right now either. I mean, it just looks fuzzy as shit. But whatever, it doesn't even make sense. Uh, but yeah, so to me, if when you have something physical, you're able to connect with that thing physically, in a physical and a tactile way. And like I was saying in the first video, that is the way that I like it, I guess. I like being able to see these things, the candles. I like being able to like dress them, and while I'm dressing them, pray over them, pray on them, carve into them what it is that I want, write it down, get a piece of paper, burn it if I need to, get these herbs and put it on the candles, whatever. Like, I like the process of it. It just makes it seem even more magical. Like, it makes it seem even more powerful. And I think it might work like on a psychological level and on a magical level. And the psychological level would be that you get to see this thing transform in front of your eyes. You get to see it transform from one thing to another thing, or you have to go and bury this in the east if you want it to come to you, or bury it in the west if you want it to remove from you, or throw it in the moving water to, move it away from you, and, just different things. Depending on what you do, would manifest different things for you. But I think that a lot of people that get into the mental magic just think, if I think it hard enough, it's gonna manifest. Not that I'm not saying that it won't. I just think that maybe it'll take a lot longer. And yeah, I just really don't think that you can go too far with it. You can probably like do stuff like manipulate your aura, or do some pretty good glamour work, or uh, change lights from red to green. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. Get that perfect parking spot. Stuff like that. But I think if you want things that are more like, you need some money, you could do some work for some candles, or you need to pray to your ancestors, or whatever it is. Like, I think that, I don't know, that was kind of random. I looked over at my ancestral, so that's why I said that, but we'll scratch that. I think that it just, oh, for a magical level, I forgot to even mention that. On a magical level, the universe, you know, as above and so below, as within and so without. So I think that on a magical level, when you bring these physical things together, what it does, and I got this from Birch. He has a YouTube channel called Freakfeel. I'm not sure what, Freakfeel 19 something, I don't know. But the way he explains it is when you get these candles, or I've seen this video a long time ago, so it was fuzzy, but that it creates like this vacuum. It creates this vacuum in the ether. So when you get these candles and these oils together and you burn that candle, what it does is it kind of creates like this suction thing where it went up, so something has to come down to fill that space, because now that that space is empty, the universe is like, oh shit, we need to bring something into there. And so when you put all your intention and you put your focus into it, it manifests that thing that you want. It sucks down that thing from the ether that you visualize, that you put your candle to, that you know you put all this energy into. It brings it down into this world. Um, and that just makes sense to me. Like, I know that your mind and your brain, every thought you think is energy, and that I do know. I just think it would work on a way slower level if all you did was think about it and think about it and think about it and think about it. Um, because you can only, like they say, you can only get so far thinking. I mean, you do have to take action. And I feel that that's a really good way of taking action with your work, is other than just sitting there meditating all the time. Now, yogis or like, you know, Buddhists, yeah, Buddhists, the ones that really meditate each and every day, they can do some badass shit, but unless you're willing to freaking learn how to meditate really well for like a good fucking like 5-10 years, I mean, yeah, I would suggest using candles and using oils and herbs. Oh, and the other reason why I would suggest using these things is because every herb is different and it contains a different energy within it. And the basis that I go off of this, and same thing with candles and same thing with oils and all this thing, is because they look different. To me, if it looks different than another thing, it performs in a different way. Whoa, look at that energy, man. It's freaking weird. Look at off my fingertips. Yeah, so I feel that, like, it gives off a different energy, and that's why it looks different. And it's kind of weird to explain, but I'll try to break it down real quick before this video ends. Like I said, I'm a very tactile person. I like seeing the things. So when I see a red candle, I think of power. I think of lust. I think of, you know, control. When I see a white candle, I think of purity. I think of protection. I think of blessings. A black one, protection, removing obstacles. It could be used to hurt people. A blue one, tranquility. Like, and same thing with herbs. If I see an herb or if I smell an herb that smells pretty like gross, I think it's gonna be for protection or to remove something. If it's something sweet, I'm gonna think happy. Or if something like cinnamon, cinnamony or spicy, I'm gonna think like seductive or hot. You know, ginger got a kick to it, so protective. Like all these herbs, all these oils, all these candles, all these stones, they all look different, so they have a different purpose. And to me, nature is so smart that nature, that the god, that the goddess, or that the higher power did that intentionally, so you knew instinctively that these different herbs, these different oils, different powders, whatever it is, candles, all that, were made different, so you knew that they were made for different purposes, because the energy they give off is different. They look different, they feel different, they smell different, and that's because they do different things. So if y'all got that, if y'all stayed with me this long, there's a little secret from within my own little spiritual path that I've learned. So that's my view on mental versus physical magic. Alright, well, I'll see you on the next one. Later.